Alright guys, I got my two little diverter parts ready to go, I reckon. And now it's time to do this tedious but necessary thing, and it is imperative to be very, very neat. To have cleaned everything. Everything's been cleaned with Novus, wiped dry, and all I'm doing, it's a very simple thing. I'm just centering these little bubbles, these little cabochons, right over that screw hole. And then this needle will cooperate. I'm not going to drool stuff all over my whole deal. It's very, very finicky. You don't want to get drops of stuff all over the inside face of the side, even though you don't really see it because it's up against the base. And it's just one of these things where you got to get really dialed in. You got to be super neat. And you'll notice I'm tipping the bottle so the big shoulder is here. So I get some fluid lined up, and then I just let it trickle, and I try and control it. But it wants to keep going because the temperature of my fingers is actually creating this boiling, because this stuff turns into a vapor almost at room temperature. So, line another one up. Pretty cool. Oh, I've got a little burr there that's making it stick up. I was wondering if I was going to get any of those. Yeah, that actually makes it rock around. So, come across something like that, it's time to stop the glue up, go get the countersink and run it by hand, just to take that burr off where it's been tapped. So the countersink's nice and clean, and you just get in there with your hand, and you just take that little raised bit of flash off of there. And now, I will use a different one altogether, so I don't have to mess with it. The guy should be fine. Now, these things have a tendency to want to jump. They want to jump around. And if you put your finger over them, you can't see what you're doing. Right now, I can see fluid just boiling down this needle. I haven't even tilted the bottom yet, and it's boiling like crazy down the needle. Very nerve-wracking. Okay. You really can't go back like I just did, because if there's the least amount of humidity in the air, it fogs. The stuff fogs like a bastard. If there's any kind of humidity, like from your breath, anything. You just give it time. Just, if you didn't get it the first time, you have to get it through the screw hole. Yep, I can feel a little burr on that too. When I use compressed air doing this kind of stuff, guys, I make sure that I got my line dryer on. If you get any little specks on there, I rub them off. Don't want them to get stuck on anything. Yeah, I don't even like blowing on it, really. It's not good for it. Wouldn't be prudent. Not gonna do it. Basically, you're dropping a drop right on it. And if you're unlucky, you also get a drop dropped right somewhere you don't want. Because there's so damn many of these things, you got to make them line up pretty good. Okay, I think that's enough of that to give you the idea. I've got 12 more to go. Okay, at long last, get to glue up a couple of reservoir parts. I really hope this comes out right, guys. Really do. Right, so get in there, the needle, let it creep. If you start seeing problems where it's not going, you'll just have to get them from the other side, because you only get really one shot at this. That's it. So I've managed to make sure everything is perfectly vertical, perfectly 90 and everything. So the next part gets put in is this little guy here. Oh, gotta hope this works out well. And that just basically goes slap up against there and there, like that. That's it. And it's either going to glue up or it's not. You know what I mean? I can't do much with it. Yeah, I've got a little bit of adjustment still to do that. I'm relieving where a little cabochons is, so I'll get back to that. Okay, so I've got this thing where I want it. And go ahead and glue it in. Okay, hopefully that'll work. Okay, it is what it is. So, that's like one side done, right? And then I'm going to put the other side on, and then I'm going to put the back on over the whole thing. So, yeah, way fun. So, yeah, basically the top gets put on next. So I flip it around and I put the top on. However, before I can glue the top panel on, I have to put this little jewel on, this little piece that I made. I gotta get that overlap very regular. I want it to look perfect. Looks pretty centered to me. What I'm going to do is just let it flow its way around. Bring my needle out all the way around one time and get it away before I get a drop on there. Screw everything up. And then just leave it until it's done, and then be ready to do the next thing. This has had enough time to do its thing, so need to go around this way and put the other part on. Yeah, so much fun, huh? Sorry guys, I was staring at it myself. So, just keep working at it. Alright guys, sometimes you just need a helping hand, you know. Now what I need to do here is make sure this whole thing is going to go together. You know, right now I've just got it clamped. And this is going to really make sure everything is going to go perfect. Because if I glue that thing in place and this isn't going to hold, that wouldn't be any good. So, now I know everything is good. There's just a little bit of tension. That's perfect for what I want. And now it's time to do the do. Alright, got everything lined up the way I want. That's where I want it. And I just let it creep along. And if you're lucky, everything's the way it's supposed to be, it just creeps right along and fuses the whole thing together. If you're lucky. And if you're not lucky, you gotta go around to the other side and do something to make it happen. Now what I like to do is I like to run a thin bead of clear Well-Done in there. Well-Done's basically acrylic mixed with this solvent, so it dries in a clear acrylic. And if you just put little beads on the inside like that, then you know it's really, really super strong. Okay, now I've got this one where I want it. Didn't get much of a scene there. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to address that on the other side. And so basically I'm going to leave that there clamped up to do its thing while I put on the top. Okay, so here we go. Grand finale, so to speak, because the front and back pretty straightforward things. What's nice is I'm going to be able to get everything lined up the way I want. And I can tell I did a good job because all my corners are coming right in like they're supposed to. Okay. That's great. So I'm going to spend a little more time fiddling with that before I glue it up. But basically we've just about got the most critical parts of the box assembled.